Long way, get this shit a long way, shit a long way. Long way, hit the long way, 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 shit, long way, 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 shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long way, finish rich, yeah. Gotta get the shit a long way, get the shit a long way. She don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way. But I gotta get this shit a long way, yeah. Tryna get money every single way, tryna get money every single day, yeah. Get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be the new slaves, yeah. No, we gotta finish rich, no, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand rich. She don't understand, she's gotta get rich. She don't understand, sometimes we got hit lit. No, we ain't hit lit, tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get this shit the long way, yeah. Coach is tryna wrap up a entree, yeah. Told you the other day that did my palm strong. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Yeah, get the shit the long way. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like a palm way. When I ain't Atari, I ain't playing games, so I'm done talking. Yesterday she told me that she bout to leave, said fuck it, bitch, we gon' get some money. Said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I went and got some money, yeah. Cause we gon' get this shit the long way, long way, we gon' get shit the long way, yeah. Back and forth like the palm way, yeah. And I'ma get this shit the long way, get this shit the long way. Just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy. You gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, for yeah. So we gon' get this shit the long way, 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 yeah, we get this shit the long way, yeah, cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, yeah, we gon' get the long way, yeah.
Over here. All right, remove. Oh man, I hate it when I mess up like that. Okay, Yeti mic. Yeti mic. There we go. Yeah, Yeti microphone. All right, there we go. There we go. There we go. Let me double check. Stop cam. Testing. All right, there we go. All right. If you're just coming in and it was muted because I switched the things wrong. I'm trying to do certain ways and I keep messing up. But anyway, I'll figure that out next time. Anyway, welcome, everybody. I'm going to give everybody a chance to get up in here and we're going to get started. Welcome, everybody, to this beautiful Saturday. At least it is beautiful here in South Carolina as I look out the window. Absolutely beautiful. Every day is a lovely day when you're debt free. I can promise you that. What's up, AJ? Every day is a beautiful day when you're debt free. You know, there's no stress. You know, I really don't know how any other way to explain it, but if you've been in debt all your life, I can't explain it, right? Anyway, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you very much. My name is LJ Young, and I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where slaves live. Now, there's two kinds of slaves: unconscious slaves and conscious slaves. Unconscious slaves cannot see negative numbers psychologically. All right. So If you're new to the channel, I always do this so you can kind of get the premise of the show, right? All right, if you believe you're a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage, this is what I want you to do. I want you to open up your calculator. I want you to put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal, okay? And as you look at the calculator, I want you to listen to the sound of my voice. The reason why you believe you're a homeowner is because you cannot see negative numbers psychologically. You can obviously see them physically because you're looking at the calculator now. But for some reason, and I'm telling you the reason why you believe you're a homeowner is because you cannot see negative numbers psychologically. That's crystal clear. There's no misunderstanding that or whatever, right? And so that's unconscious slave. Conscious slaves, and I'm like, oh, I got it better yet. And I can describe the debt matrix so you'll understand what that is and where it is. All right. As the example that I just showed you, here is the debt matrix. The debt matrix is between your calculator and your brain, right? You're seeing negative numbers on the calculator, but by the time it gets back to you, you think you have equity, you're a homeowner and stuff like that. That area between the calculator and your brain, that's the debt matrix. That's where you live, okay? Now there's conscious slaves. They believe the calculator. They realize that they're deep under zero. They're deep in the debt matrix, very deep. If you're so deep in the negative, you don't even know the number, that's the debt matrix. That's like deep. So conscious slaves woke up and said, oh, crap, I'm a slave. Yeah, you're a slave. Sure are. What you going to do about it? I got to pay off all this debt to get to zero. Yes, you do. All right. That's what they did. Sold everything, reduced from a high price car down to a lower car, went to a Honda, went from a Mercedes to a Honda Accord, and don't care what slaves think, because now they know that they're a slave. That's the number one thing. You wake up and you're like, oh shit, I'm a slave. Yeah. Believe it or not, that epiphany is a blessing. Okay. When you guys hear me, it really is a debt slave. Okay. I'm gonna just say what it is, debt slave. Once you realize you're a debt slave, you're gonna be like, that's a blessing. You're like, oh, you mean all these millions of people around me don't know they're debt slaves? Nope, they sure don't. No, they don't. But you do. What you gonna do about it? And then they turn it around, getting out of debt, doing whatever they can, selling houses, cars, reducing everything, and not caring what slaves think, what debt slaves think. Because debt slaves will think, oh, what's wrong with that person? They had a Mercedes, now they're driving a Honda. They must be broke. They must have bad credit. All the things debt slaves say to themselves. You guys all say the same shit over and over, but you guys don't know that. They reduced their life. That was me. I was what you call the high-valued, college-educated, blockety, six-figure earner, nice place, nice car having. I was that dude, in shape too. On top of that, I thought that was going to do it too. I realized I was nothing but a debt slave, a college-educated, virtual engineer debt slave. That's it. Nothing more than that. Bragging on the title that my job gave me. Because, you know, debt slave, when you guys introduce each other, the first question you ask is, hey, what do you do for a living? Hey, what do you do for a living? That don't mean nothing. That don't mean anything. Their job titles, those are the titles that their employers gave them. They're walking around bragging about what their employer gave. That was me. Yeah, that was me. Oh, yeah, I'm a college engineer 3, 4, 5, whatever the fuck I was saying, right? It's just so stupid. It's so dumb. It is so dumb. And then I woke up, found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey said, take the arithmetic that we all learned in elementary school, apply it to your finances using these baby steps. And I thought to myself, there is no way it's that easy, Dave. Dave said, yes, it is. You mean to tell me it was just simple arithmetic? Yep, that's it. And then I thought to myself, after I did it and applied, I started getting out of debt. And then I started thinking, if it just has to do with arithmetic, what does religion have to do with it? Nothing. 1 + 1 = 2 in any religion. So I stripped that out. And then even to his baby step 4 or something like that, he says, when you get down to your mortgage, start putting away 15% away for retirement. That's what he promotes. It's like, wait a minute. According to mathematics, if you put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal, you don't got 15% to put away anything anywhere. Nope, you sure don't. Why is he doing that? That's business, baby. That's business. If it doesn't make mathematical sense, that's called business. There's nothing wrong with that. If you don't know that you can't put 15% away into retirement while having a mortgage, that's your problem. That's nobody else's problem but yours. That was me. Until I woke up, found, and I didn't know I was a slave until I got to zero. Once I got to zero, that's the only time I realized I was a slave. I looked back on it, I was like, wait a minute. I didn't own myself all those years from 18 to 40. You sure didn't. Nope. Then who owned me? Some said, log into your credit report. So I did it. They said, there's a list of all your owners right there. See all those businesses that you owe money to? Yeah, they own you, Linnell. They own you. I was like, okay, well, how do I stop them from owning me? Pay them their money back. And then they don't own you anymore. I said, okay, now I'm free. Now I'm here on the mic talking to you guys. Here I am. This right here, what S&D teaches, this changes your whole entire life. It changes it. You speak a whole different language that debt slaves have no idea exists. Debt slaves have no idea their entire world makes no mathematical sense, CENTS, at all. None. Zero. Debt slaves don't know you can't buy a house with student loan debt. You can't do that. No, you can't do that. No. That breaks all the laws of mathematics. What do you mean? Hold up. Your student debt is older than your children? And you trying to buy a house? They're going to financially abuse you with what? An FHA mortgage. That's what they do to debt slaves that don't know nothing. Because if you knew and you read the terms in the FHA mortgage, you would like, wait a minute, that's financial suicide. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Why? What about it? That's business, baby. The housing market couldn't exist without you. Anybody with any mortgage, personally. The housing market could not exist if you didn't believe it takes 30 years to pay off one house. Come on, you gotta sit back and think. Wait a minute. You mean if I finance a house at age 30, I won't be paying this house off to age 60? Nope, you sure won't. 60 years old. And that's with no debt. And that's with never refinancing ever. And that's with the best mortgage in the United States of America. You guys with FHA mortgages, subprime mortgages, VA mortgages, all those mortgages, you guys will never, ever, ever own a house. How do I know that? By the type of mortgage you have. That's how I know. They're going to financially abuse you. And that's just business. Hey, it ain't nothing personal. Don't be looking at the banks as they're big and bad and evil, and student loans they didn't tell us. Hey, if that's you jumping on that bandwagon, I strongly suggest you get off of that. Those people complaining, they're gonna be there forever. It doesn't matter how they feel about it. Who cares? It didn't tell you about student loan terms. They're never ever gonna release that many of the slaves. So stop dreaming. Stop. That's never gonna happen. That's how they own you, slave. You got to pay back every single penny. And those of you that just took the student loan money and did willy-nilly with it, they own you for life. Believe that. Didn't even get your degree, nothing, didn't even try. You're on forbearance and minimum payments. They're going to own you until you're dead. That's why they make it so easy for you guys to get to it. Never forget that. Now what we're gonna do on this one, I'm going to one is an article sent in by International Minded, and the other SMD family member, the video was sent on Gabriel, SMD family member Gabriel put it on the our Discord server, right? Now, I'm going to walk you guys through this video. Unlike you will never find anybody else that can walk you through this video like me. And what I want you to, as you walk, and I'm going to tell you how I'm going to walk through it. I'm only going to walk through this video mathematically. Okay, I'm not saying it's special. Well, I'm going to tell you my gift. If you're new to the channel, let me tell you what my gift is. I have the ability to see negative numbers psychologically. Something millions upon millions of people cannot do, obviously. Because if everybody could see what I'd see, car loan debt wouldn't exist. You would not believe if you financed the Tesla, you're saving money on gas. You would clearly you could clearly do the math and clearly see that that's not true. But and look how many people, I'm sorry, I don't mean to go off on a tangent here, but look how many people are like, let's just go like Tesla reviews, right? And they're all talking about big channels too, big channels. They're talking about how much money they're saving in gas. They always do these long videos. All you got to do is type in there, did you finance that? They're all going to tell you yes. As soon as they mention the word finance, they're not saving no gas. No, they're not. According to what? Themselves? Yeah. Not according to mathematics. No, you're not. Nobody gets a finance car on sale. Nobody gets a finance anything on sale. No matter what the sale is, if you finance it, it's no longer on sale. Debt slaves. So that's my gift. Okay. So we're going to go through this one video. Let me bring this up here. And you guys let me know if you can hear it okay. All right. Video 5. No, just a second. Chrome tab. Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're going to walk through this video. And I'm not going to really be able to see you guys' comments while I'm talking about it. Okay. So you got to bear with me because I got one screen. All right. But I do need to make sure you guys can hear it okay, all right? So let me make sure I do this right. And you guys give me a 1 if you guys can hear it, if it needs to be louder, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, 1 second here. I'm going to do a sound test.
Think about what I want out of life, what I want to achieve, and what direction I want to go before I stack up another $30,000, $40,000 in student loan debt. So to keep the peace, I really had.
All right, give me a 1 or 1 for good, 2 that it needs to be louder. Let me know.
The window was broke, so it kind of started getting cold in August and September. I was going to class, I was working in the afternoons, and I was sleeping in my car at night. At the end of the day, it gave me a wonderful opportunity to save money. Another thing I did to save money was I started eating once a day.
All right, let me get louder.
First, I did this just to save money because I just.
All right, that's as loud as it can go. I'll turn the mic up. Maybe you guys can. Hold on. There we go. Maybe the. All right, that should be better. All right, I'm gonna start the video over. And then I'm going to stop as we're, let me minimize this so I can see you guys. I want to be able to see you guys' comments too. All right, here we go, okay?
I saw the student loan hit $30,000. At that point, I realized I need to sit back and really think about what I want out of life, what I want to achieve, and what direction.
Whoa, I missed the part. 1 second.
I saw the student loan hit $30,000. At that point, I realized I need to sit.
Okay. Now he just told. It's not too bad. Okay. He just said he's $30,000 in student loan debt. Okay. And I want you guys, if you guys can have your calculators available, use your calculators. I want you, but these are negative numbers, I'm telling you. So 30,000 he's talking about, you put this in the calculator as negative 30,000. He's telling us the base of what he's about to say. All right, let's go.
Sit back and really think about what I want out of life, what I want to achieve, and what direction I want to go before.
Okay, real quick, he just was in a car. Okay, now if he's negative $30,000 in debt, that means he has payments because he has no money to buy a car. Okay, so obviously he's making car payments.
Where I stack up another $30,000, $40,000 in student loan debt.
Okay, now he just stated that he was thinking about stacking about $30,000 more in student loan debt, which would make, he hasn't done it yet, but he just said he's talking about doing it, even though he's $30,000 in debt. So he's talking about going $60,000 in debt, making $25,000 a year. Okay, all right. Now I don't know if that was him, but he was just saying, now that, like I said, them spreading the credit cards, I don't know if that was him, but if that was him, that means he's telling us on top of student loan debt, he has many credit card debt on top of that. All right.
I'm Jerome Gillespie. I'm 23 years old. I live in Baltimore, Maryland.
Another thing, as soon as you see millennial, that kind of stuff, and they try to put you into a category, you guys are all debt slaves. Don't let yourself be. Math has nothing to do with being a millennial. 1 + 1 = 2 across millennial, Gen X. Math doesn't care what group you believe you are in. Okay, let's just make sure that's clear.
And I make $25,000 a year. So I'm a manager of a tax office, and also I do Uber.
Okay, whoa. Let me go back.
Uber so I'm a manager of a tax office, and also I do Uber and Lyft.
He has 3 jobs. You cannot get much sleep with just having 3 jobs. You don't get much sleep. So you notice how they never calculate the time in their life. Like sleep is not important. Sleep is very important. Believe that. When you become debt free, you will understand the significance of sleep, of good sleep. Because when you have no debt, you have no stress. So you sleep very well. So can you imagine the little bit of sleep he does get? He's probably stressed out of this world. Okay. I have no idea why this young man is smiling. He know he is deep in debt. But you know what it's for? It's to promote other millennials, to show you guys, hey, look, if this guy can do it, you can do it too. Look, he's happy. No, he's not. No, he's not. That's a trick. Okay, that's a trick.
This year, since I was only doing pretty much taxes, that kind of lowered my income, because believe it or not, I actually make more money doing Uber and Lyft a lot of the times than when I do doing taxes.
He's deep in debt, and he believes he has the option to go to the job that makes less money. See, it doesn't make any sense. So if that means he's making less money, that means he has less money to pay his bills. Guarantee you, his student loans are in forbearance. Guaranteed. Oh crap! Damn it! Sorry about that.
Public service. Taxes got extended, so I was doing that more often. But I really like doing taxes though, because it gives me more knowledge, or human capital.
Look how they show all the tax books like he's smart or something. See, that's a trick, you guys. If you're $30,000 in debt, you can't save money on taxes. That's mathematically impossible. You can't do that. But they showing you guys all these tax books and say, oh, look at all this reading he's doing. So what? He can read every single one of those books. It doesn't change the fact that he's $30,000 in debt. Okay, remember that. Debt slaves can't save. You guys can't write off money on taxes. You guys can't do anything. Okay, and you probably wonder, what do you mean? Yes, I can. My tax person told me. This is what I want you to do. Open up your calculator, put in your savings, the cash that you have, minus your total debt, student loans, mortgages, credit cards, and hit equal. That's how much money you truly have to write off on taxes. Now you're probably thinking, well, how can I write off taxes on a negative number? You can't. Right, you can't. Then how come you think you are? Because you obviously can't see negative numbers. I keep telling you guys, that's my gift. You can't write off taxes on negative numbers. Only debt slaves believe that. Debt slaves do. That's my gift. Because this is part of the debt matrix. You're going to look at the calculator and you're going to be like, wait a minute, everybody around me says they do it. I know they're all debt slaves. They don't know what they're doing. One of them has a professional business. So what? That don't mean anything. That means nothing. I don't care how long a tax person been in business, how many years they've been doing it. If they have student debt older than their business, they have no idea what they're doing. None, zero. They just showed you. They got student loans older than their business. All right, so let's go.
So that can actually help me in my future more than probably, doing Uber and Lyft again.
Got him sitting at the table, adjusting his glasses, pretending to read a book. You ain't reading that book. That's to trick you millennials to thinking he's doing something smart. That's what they're doing. That's tricking you guys, okay? He's not. Remember, he's negative $30,000 in debt. What you reading in that book? How to get out of student loan debt? Guarantee it's not saying that. Early days, man, you 23. Look how they're going all the way back, and they're going to tell you the story about. Okay, let's let it play.
Seeing an eviction notice or like getting the lights or electric turned off, it didn't really bother me because I knew that they were going to be coming back on sometime soon. But to me, I felt like those were just things that happened every once in a while. Perhaps maybe that was the reason why ever since I was a little kid, I was extremely frugal and tight with my money. This is a nice town, has a nice scenery, but
Now, I can agree with that because where I grew up in Seattle, that happened every now and then. That when I was growing up, my mom, very rarely, but I remember that happening. And later on that evening, it would get cut. If not the next day, it'd get cut back on, right? But even as a young child, I used to think to myself, that cannot be normal. Okay, that can't be normal. And now that I'm out of debt matrix, it's not.
People in that area were very, very racist growing up. It did definitely hurt.
Like, for example, if you got a parent that has, this is one of the biggest red flags ever. If you got a parent that has put the utilities in their children's name, that's a big red flag. Big red flag. That's a person deep in debt. Not only you can't turn on you can't turn on the electricity in your name. That's bad. If they don't let you turn on electricity. But it's so bad that you don't even give a fuck if you put it in your kid's name and ruin their financial life before they even get started. Because once the kid grows up and starts looking at their own credit and they see that on their credit, guess what's going to happen? They're going to say, hey, my mom, my dad did that. Do you know what they're going to say? If you want that debt off, yeah, you got to file charges against your parents. You got to file. Now, how many kids you think are going to do that to their parents? They're not going to do that. They're going to go ahead and swallow that debt and eat it. No matter how, man. That's, to me, that is messed up, man. That is that you obviously don't. That is so messed up. But a lot of people think that shit's normal. But let's go on.
My confidence as a person, when you're raised there for so long, you start to think that that's kind of just how the entire everyone is. And I realized that that's not really the case, and that I slowly but surely over time regained that confidence that was lost from being there. I was living with my girlfriend at the time, and her roommate didn't want me there. So to keep the peace, I really had nowhere else to go because I was waiting to move in with my brother. I had to sleep in my 1993 Firebird Pontiac, and it was very small. The window was broke, so it kind of started getting cold in August and September. I was going to class, I was working in the afternoons, and I was sleeping in my car at night. At the end of the day, it gave me a wonderful opportunity to save money. Another thing I did to save money was I started eating once a day. So first I did this.
He said it was a wonderful opportunity that he was saving money because he was sleeping in his car. Okay. And then he reduced to eating once a day. Now, do I really believe a person needs to eat 3 times a day? No, because I don't do that. 2 times, maybe 3 every now and then. But the majority of times I eat a day is twice. Right. So I can understand if, you don't have to really have a relationship with food like that. And I kind of get that.
Just save money because I just didn't have a lot of money coming in, and I was spending money on books and stuff like that. And I wanted to save money up so I could get my own apartment, get out the living room. But what I did with that money that I saved on food is I started investing in stocks and ETFs and stuff like that. So that money started to grow. So
all right, so he thinks, now remember, you guys, he's negative $30,000 in the hole. But yet he believes that he has an extra $200, $300 to invest in something to see something grow. You can't invest negative dollars into anything. That's impossible. So you can't grow money if you have no money. You have to first have money. He's negative $30,000 in the hole, but yet believes he has $200 to invest. So he doesn't know what he's saying makes no mathematical sense. Okay, he's a young debt slave though.
I wasn't just holding on to that money, but I was growing that money, and eventually I used that money that was growing to pay down debt and other stuff like that. I don't really consider myself as a budgeter. I don't really budget. I just have a natural tendency to not want to spend money. But as far as tracking things, I do try to track all of my income and my expenses on like the income.
See this fancy diagram? Now remember, when you're negative $30,000 in the hole, this diagram doesn't exist because it can't. This is for you guys to look at it and think it's some kind of, this kid knows some sophisticated something. You're negative $30,000 in the hole. This diagram doesn't exist. Okay.
Statement, and then also I do a balance sheet at the end of every month. I recently started categorizing my expenses, and also I kind of track how much increase and decrease each of my asset categories and liability categories have grown.
See this fancy diagram? It doesn't exist. He thinks it does, but it doesn't. This is for you guys to look like he's doing something. He's not doing anything. This type of articles are more for you guys to believe that it's okay to live the way he's living. As long as you think this diagram that with these ups and down arrows and graphs means something, they don't mean anything. You're negative $30,000 in the hole.
Track my savings rate.
He said he tracks his savings. He's negative $30,000 in the hole. You're not saving anything. But he's a debt slave. He doesn't know that. Jerome, he tries to save $10,000 a year. You can't do that. You're negative $30,000 in the hole. You can't do that. According to what? The people that are telling you this? Or according to the laws of mathematics? There go those books again. Sitting on his card, he's making car payments on.
No money in the bank account. I had like $40. That was like in 2017. I just decided that I was never going to have less than $100 in my bank account ever again in my life.
I mean, that's a good goal, but $100? You got to have bigger goals than that, man. I'm nothing less than $100. That's a problem. But you know what it really is? He's $30,000 in the hole.
I started buying stocks, and I just started researching companies and trying to figure out what I need to do to make intelligent investments. Eventually, I learned about a Roth IRA, and basically, the Roth IRA was another thing that I started putting money into. I mean, it seemed like a wonderful deal. I love making tax.
Now remember, well, hold on, let me go back.
It seemed like a wonderful deal. I love making tax-free money, so I decided just to put money in there.
Now remember, he's negative $30,000 in the hole, and then he thinks he invests inside of he invested in a Roth IRA to earn tax-free money. You can't do that. You're negative 30. You can't invest in Roth anything in the world. let alone an IRA or a CBA or an ABC or XYZ. You can't do none of that. You're negative $30,000 in the hole. You're not earning tax-free nothing. Do you see what I'm saying? I hope you guys that think you're millennials and you think you start, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Look at that. He thinks he's doing all that. He thinks he can have 30K in debt, invest in an IRA, put money away for savings. You can't do any of that.
When I was in 8th grade, I was diagnosed with a heart condition that was potentially deadly. And the doctor said that if you exercise real hard, you could die at any moment. So I continued exercising hard, continued living my life the way that I wanted to live my life. I never really thought that I would make it past high school because, in 8th grade, they told me that I could die at any moment. After that situation happened and I actually got to the point where I was graduating high school, I was kind of like in shock because I never really thought about what I wanted to do after high school. So I kind of just went into college with just...
Okay, I'm not putting it down, but I have no idea why I do know why. Maybe to grab you guys' heartstrings, because this is like a student debt financial talk, and then he's going to tell us how he almost died and can't work. What's that got to do with the financial talk? Nothing. It's just to bring you guys in, to make it more relatable. That has nothing to do with math, okay?
Empty-handed, not really thinking about what I had wanted to do throughout high school. I kind of went undecided. I decided to go with Spanish because I could graduate in like 2 semesters. But I didn't feel like Spanish was really what was going to help me get to where I was going in life, and it just didn't seem like that would be a very good.
So what he's doing, he is doing things to get through the school fast, but he's using student loan money to do it. So he really doesn't. He's doing things for the wrong reasons, but he's using student loan money to do it. Okay.
Return on investment. I saw the student loan hit 30,000. And at that point, I realized I need to sit back and really think about what I want out of life, what I want to achieve, and what direction I want to go before I stack up another $30,000-$40,000 in student loan debt.
In forbearance. So let me tell you what that means. That means he's making such minimum payments. The interest for when you put your student loans in forbearance, the interest doesn't stop accumulating. So when you put it in forbearance and you making minimum payments on it, that means they're collecting interest even faster. It's more than once you go, you see the interest rate that your student loans are being charged, right? But if you're making less in payments, that means they're making more in interest. That's why they let you put it in forbearance 6 months. And if you need to go back and do it or whatever, you could, whatever.
I may go back to college. I know Uber has this program. If you get 3,000 rides, they might pay for online college for you. So I want to see if that's real or legit, see what's going on with that. And if they do that, I might go back for try to get an accounting degree. But other than that, I'm not 100% sure. It's very costly, and He's talking about
going back getting an accounting degree. He has no idea what you can just look at his mannerism. He's just saying stuff. You know why he's saying stuff? Because he's not paying for this schooling out of his pocket. If you were paying cash for your school, I guarantee you wouldn't make the right choice of what decision you're gonna go to school for. You'd be like, okay, how much this school gonna cost? $60,000? Whoa, okay, I better be sure of my decision. It's very different. But when it's not your money, you just, I'll try this and do that, and maybe this will work, and then if not, I'll just change my major. Of course you will. Got it.
I feel very confident in myself that I can build a good amount of wealth with or without a degree.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. He's already $30,000 in debt with student loan debt. Then he takes out another $20,000 in another loan to use to help him pay for expenses in his current situation. So what he's saying is that he has no money to pay for his current situations. So he takes out another loan to cover the things that he can't cover in his. What's that? 50,000?
I figured that
He can't even afford to fix his own car. Have you noticed they haven't told you they haven't said he's making payments on it? You know why? Because he is. They don't want to add that into the mix.
interest rate is 3.75%.
Oh yeah, and his car insurance too. His car insurance on top of that.
Almost guaranteed, based off my calculations, to get a higher return on investment than 3.75%, either with Uber and Lyft or some other endeavor.
Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at that. The payments will be around $95 a month for 30 years. They're saying basically, you won't be done paying this off until you're in your 50s. For this $20,000 loan that he gets in his 20s, they're saying at $95 a month, he's not going to be done paying it off until he's in his 50s. You know how many of you guys are going to be doing this? You guys know how many of you guys are going to be doing this shit? And then when you add a mortgage on top of that and credit cards and child support and kids, you guys are going to die debt slaves as you follow this.
I plan to stop driving for Uber and Lyft.
They probably, I bet you the directors kept telling, hey man, make sure you smile, make sure you smile, make sure you smile, make sure you smile, because he has no reason to be smiling.
As soon as I possibly can. I want to move on to something that is probably a little bit more lucrative and that makes a little bit more money. I would like to actually get into software engineering and also maybe at somewhere down the line get an accounting degree perhaps and work in that field as well. I want to have enough investment income to cover my monthly expenses, plus be able to save 50% of my income thereafter. But another big investment goal is I want to.
I mean, this kid is all over the place. He's just throwing out stuff. Just, hey, yeah, save 50% and make enough income to pay my. He's not making any sense. None, zero. You want to be able to save 50% of your income? You don't even own any of your income today. He can't even save $1.
Buy my first piece of real estate. Right now, I pretty much have.
Did he say buy real estate? Oh, wait, hold up.
Have everything that I could want and enjoy in life. I have a family and friends that I enjoy and that I care about. So I really can't have much to complain. The only thing I don't have is just financial freedom completely, like investment income enough to cover my expenses and, or passive income enough to cover my expenses. And that's only really my next goal is just have enough passive income. But everything else in life I pretty much already have. The only thing that income can do is help me reach that goal a little bit faster. Right about now, I am thanking myself every single day for that decision that I made to sleep on that couch, to eat once a day, to live that lifestyle, so I don't have to live that lifestyle ever again.
Let me tell you something, 23-year-olds. You don't have to live that lifestyle. You don't have to sleep on nobody's couch or be in somebody's you don't have to do any of that. All you got to do is stay out of debt. That's it. Just stay out of debt. That's totally it. Just stay out of debt. That is that type of video is to suck you. Hey man, but that kind of is okay. This is kind of weird, but those type of videos are supposed to happen. We need those type of people because the majority must remain in debt. The majority must remain debt slaves. They must. That's important. Okay. But You can choose to be on the side of the economy that you want to be on. It's totally up to you. You don't have to. All you got to do is just believe in mathematics. All you got to do is have the ability to see negative numbers like I do, like the SMD family members do. Once you come here, hopefully that wasn't too loud. I forgot to turn that down. Once you come here, this cannot be faked. You can't come over and pretend to be an SMD family member. You can't pretend to see negative numbers. You can't do that. The only way you're going to be able to see negative numbers psychologically, you have to get out of debt. You have to pay the price to come. This is what it really is. You have to pay the price to be able to see negative numbers psychologically. What's your price? Open your calculator, put in your savings, minus your total debt, student loans, car payments, whatever. Add it all up and then hit equal. That's your price right there. Whatever the calculator says, that's how much it's going to cost you to get free. Now, how you do it is totally up to you. You don't have to work hours for it. You can do other things to get out of debt faster, but that's your cost. The cost was never going to change. How you do it is totally up to you. Okay. Now I'm going to bring up this article that International Minded sent to me, just to show you guys something. Okay. What is that share screen? Okay. All right. Now, I like this one because I want you guys to understand. Now, remember, I want you guys to understand how it's done within families that have grown up with the ability to see negative numbers generationally. Because once you understand what SMD teaches, you will naturally teach this to your children. You will never be able to unlearn what I teach. You can't. One day you're not gonna become debt free. Have the ability to see negative numbers psychologically and just say, "Oh, I don't like it no more. I'm gonna just go back into the debt matrix." You won't be able to do that. Those days that's done. You won't be able to do that. Okay. Once you cross over, you can't go back. Just remember that. Okay. All right, so let me make this wider. Okay, so we're going to read through this one because I only got so much time today. 2 boys plant an Ethereum mining operation in their garage and earns $32,000 a month. Those are parents that know. Those are parents, they know for debt slaves, cryptocurrency is bullshit. It doesn't exist. Cryptocurrency could not exist without you. But people with money, it does exist for them. Like people like me, people like these kids' parents, that's real money because they know. Okay. Some sell imaginary friends and others put a cryptocurrency mining operation in their garage. Without a doubt, the time to sell sweets or lemonades is behind us. Today's children bring a shark's mind. 2 American brothers. I wonder why they put in American, whatever. 2 American brothers learn to earn money. Sorry, I'm going to be reading this slow because I want to kind of get what they're saying between the lines. Money through an Ethereum mine that they established in their home garage. The kids' names and age 14 to 9 have generated monthly earnings of $35,000 according to, that's some good ass money. According to the local newspaper, the little ones who live in Frisco, Texas, began the dream of having their own mining operation after their father told them a story about the growth of Bitcoin before they went to sleep. The dad told a 14-year-old and 9-year-old about Bitcoin. Oh, they had a serious talk. Okay, that's families that understand. What's that say? You may be interested. This family bet everything on Bitcoin when it cost $900. Now he keeps his fortune in secret vaults. Not sure we're still. All right. At first, they thought of trying the highest value cryptocurrency on the market, which was Bitcoin. However, they did not have the money to invest in it. They still decided to buy the necessary equipment for crypto mining. In this way, in March of this year, the brothers began mining through an old gaming computer that allowed them to generate earnings of $1,000 in their first month. Wow. Okay. So dad must have saw that. He was like, oh shit, there's money in this bad boy. And I can get my kids started early. His kids are gonna start right off the bat, not being debt slaves right off the bat. They will never know what it's like to be in debt. Right here. Dad's already showing them what to do. Find something that debt slaves believe that's real, because you guys believe that shit is real. Find something that debt slaves believe really in, and they believe it's going to be the government. It's going to over topple the government, and they're not going to be able to track it and not get taxed. Whatever they believe, that's what you get into. Okay, if they believe it, do it. We want to continue growing. The youngsters had a desire to expand their crypto mining. However, they ran into a problem: the shortage of graphic cards used for such activity. But they looked for a solution. They signed up to receive updates on supplies from various electronic stores. And when they received them, they quickly went for the necessary instruments. Okay, self-taught. The brothers reported that they learned to mine cryptocurrency in self-taught way through YouTube videos. Yeah, that's all you got to learn from YouTube. And their father helped them through a loan to buy the necessary equipment. So I'm sure the dad set up something to get some tax breaks for loaning his son some money to invest. They know how to do it right. Okay. They know how to do it. Okay. It was all done. I'm sure he just didn't say, hey, son, let's go out and just go ahead and buy this, blah, blah, blah stuff. No, we're going to sign it up and then we're going to give it to you as a loan so I can get a tax write-off, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now the small entrepreneurs use their money on inputs to continue growing their farm, paying for electricity from renewable energy, and also seek to save for their university studies. Now they paying for electricity from renewable energy. You think a 14-year-old, a 9-year-old knows about renewable energy? No, the parents do. Hey, dad, make sure we're using, you think a 14 and 9-year-old is going to say, hey, dad, mom, yeah, make sure we're using renewable energy. No, the parents know that. Is that it? Okay, that was it. That was a quick article. Yeah, that was it. Okay. See the difference? See the difference when you know? This is what SMD teaches, okay? Once you get it, you never go back. There is no returning. You don't leave you don't leave the debt matrix and go back into the debt matrix. You'll never do. First of all, you can't. That's impossible. You can't do that. Shout out to Winston for the $10 Cash App, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. The ability to see negative numbers psychologically. Millions can't see this. Millions believe. Can anybody put it this way? Anybody asking you to invest in Bitcoin and they talk about Bitcoin knowledge, they have all this knowledge. You say to them and say, you got student loan debt? When they say yes, you disregard everything they're telling you because they have no idea what they're saying to you. You can't invest with student loan debt. That's impossible. You cannot do that. But yet they do. Bitcoin could not exist. Now, the majority of, I guarantee you this, anybody asking you to invest in any type of cryptocurrency, you look and see if they're making car payments. They got student loan payments, credit card payments. As soon as they say yes, you just disregard because they can't see negative numbers. They're debt slaves. Only debt slaves make statements that make no mathematical sense. CENTS. Those are debt slaves. They don't know that, but they don't know that. They don't know because they can't see negative numbers. They don't know they can't invest in anything when you have student loan debt. That's impossible. But on the same note, this is why you get to choose the side of the economy you're on. On the same note, that is very important that millions of people believe that they can. That's important for people to believe that they can buy houses with student loan debt, that they can invest in Bitcoin with student loan debt. They can have, while at the same time making car payments, credit card. All of that is true. Cryptocurrency could not exist without debt slaves. Debt slaves don't know digital currency, been here for decades. It's called credit. Do you think, put it this way so you debt slaves can really understand. What if every store, including online, stop accepting credit cards? How many things from those stores did you guys think you could buy? None of it. You guys couldn't buy anything without credit cards because you guys need them. If every store, online, physical and online, stop accepting credit cards, guess what? Everybody dies, including the business. If you're a business and you don't accept credit cards, you're dead. See ya. Because debt slaves have no money. They have no money. Don't you understand that? The banks know that, okay? Banks know nobody survives without them, because if they said, hey, nobody can use our credit cards, and they just cut everybody off, nobody's buying anything from stores. Nobody. Except people with money. That doesn't stop me from shopping. But that will stop the majority. We can't have that. We cannot have that. That cannot happen. That must be that way. It must remain that debt slaves believe it takes 30 years to pay off one house. You guys must believe that. You must believe that. You must believe in a currency that doesn't physically exist. That's important. Look how much money is being made on books, videos. That's all bread. That's all business. Hey, congratulations. You guys are making bread off of these debt slaves. They have no idea. Hey, man, when next time a debt slave come up to you and talk about cryptocurrency, I want you to say, put it in my hand, slave. I mean, don't say it, slave. Put it in my hand. Here, let me pull out $20. I'm going to put it in my hand. See that? I can smell it, crimple it up, throw it, do it, but I can't copy it. I can do all kinds of things except copy it. Now, put some cryptocurrency in my hand. They're going to give you this weird look like, hey, what do you mean? We can't do that. I know that, debt slave. I know that. I'm trying to show you something, debt slave. You can't invest in cryptocurrency with student loan debt, slave. You can't do that. What's up, Mr. G? We live in a debt-based society. It's falling apart. Look at the latest talk from Jerome Powell and the feds. First of all, number one, let me tell you something, Mr. G. I don't live in a debt-free society. Not me. You got to speak for yourself, young man. You got to speak for yourself, not me. Or people like me. We live here because we have to live here with you. We have to. But as long as you believe you live in a debt society, that's just what you believe, Mr. G. And as long as you have student loan debt, you will believe that until you're dead because you have student loan debt. Now, remember, Mr. G, everything I'm saying, I can prove on your calculator. And if my math is right, if my math goes with the calculator, that means I'm right. Okay? Now, again, where is the debt matrix? The debt matrix is between your calculator and your brain. That space between those two, like if you're holding your phone like this, and you open up the calculator app on your phone and you clearly see a negative number on your calculator, but by the time it translates into your brain, you think it's a positive number. That's called the debt matrix, okay? That's space. Now here's the link. If you guys want to, now I ain't got much time today, so just time is cut short. We got about 20 minutes, okay? Now, if you want to get out of that, if you want to get out of the debt matrix and you want to have the ability to see negative numbers and be freer than you ever have been in your life, right here, I can give you the roadmap straight to it, without a doubt. You come to me, a consultation, you're like, hey, LJ, can you give me a plan on how to get out from being a debt slave? Sure can. Guaranteed. The hard part will be this, to be able to follow it. That's the hard part. But you will at least know how much debt you're in. The majority of people, your family, friends, they have not a clue of how much debt they're in, and they don't even care. Don't even care. Don't even care. How much debt are you? I don't know. When they say I don't know, those debt slaves, those are the kind of debt slaves that's going to die a debt slave. Because if you could just shrug your shoulders like this, I don't know. You think it's not a big deal? That's a big deal. That's a very big deal, especially if you don't know and you don't care. Oof. If you are a person that has totally given up on ever paying off your student loan debt, damn. I feel bad inside for you because you got, but if you don't know, like anybody, like this is what I want you guys to really pay attention to, because debt slaves don't know this. Anybody that's trying to tell you what to do to make money the fastest or whatever, right? This is what I want you to think. See if they calculate the time in your life in any part of what they tell you. If they say shit like, oh, sleep is for losers, they're suckers, the early bird gets the worm and all that stuff, those are debt slaves, okay? That don't listen to that. You got to say, anybody saying stuff like that, you got to go, do you have student loan debt? Yeah, that's why you're talking like that. Sleep is good. Sleep helps your body. We have to sleep for a reason. Don't you think it's weird? Like when it gets dark, all of a sudden you get tired and you go to sleep. Why? How come we can't just stay up 24 hours a day? There's obviously a reason. That's obvious. This is something that we don't even control, but you get less of it. That doesn't make sense to me because it's not true. I'm telling you from personal experience, being debt free, that is not true. That's very bad, very bad, very bad. But when you're in debt, you don't know that. If you're a debt slave, you don't know that. Now, you probably, again, if you're new to the channel, you're probably thinking, what do you mean I'm a debt slave? This is all you got to do. Log into your Credit Karma. Log into your Experian account. Log in there. This big number is going to pop up in your face. Put a negative in front of it. Okay? Now, that's your true net worth right there. And then you're going to see a large negative number. Then you're going to say, well, who do I owe all that money to? Go a little bit deeper into your credit report. Those are a list of all your owners. Those are all the people that you owe that amount of money to. And until they're paid back, they own you. It doesn't matter if you don't decide, you don't look at your credit report or you think it's going to fall off in 7 years. All that kind of stuff, that's slave talk. That's called slave splaining. If you open your mouth, oh man, if you're one of those people like, oh man, that debt falls off in 7 years, you better stop talking like that. That's not true. They don't tell you the part, well, it accumulates interest. You think it just disappears? No, it doesn't. You owe people money. Would you want to start a business and people shop at your store and then they just don't pay you the money? Would you want that to happen to you? Then why would you do that to somebody else? That kind of behavior, that doesn't come where I live. That kind of behavior is not accepted. You can't just be, first of all, borrowing money in the first place. And then you just borrow money and you just decide you're not going to pay back the person that gave you the money, that trusted you with the money in the first place. You can't come here. No, sir. You can't do none of that. That's not allowed here. That's not, no, because there's no reason. You don't have to steal from debt slaves. They're giving away money. First of all, debt slave, they don't even know money doesn't exist for them. They don't even know. Why would you steal it from them if they don't even know it exists? It doesn't exist for them. Mr. G, this is what I want to say to you, sir. And you're never going to know what I mean until you pay off your student loan debt. The things you are saying right now, Mr. G, those are just all the things you've read on Google and people have been telling you through the years. What about the national debt? What about the bigger picture? What about your picture, Mr. G? Stop worrying about the picture outside of you. Worry about every time I asked you about your student loan debt, you had no answers for me. That's where you need to start. You know about everything about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and then when I ask you about your student loan debt, you have not a clue. Oh man, the lawyer's handling this. That's where you start, Mr. G. That's a sign. And that's not saying anything negative to you. I'm telling you something that you're not seeing. That is a big red flag if you don't know about the economy of Mr. G. The economy of you works with the outside of the economy you can't see. You are getting the economy according to your economy. That's the economy you see. First, it starts with you, and then the economy outside of you is going to match your economy. You see? And I'm just telling you, I'm not, you got to understand, Mr. G, this is really not a debate. Okay? You keep coming up with different stuff. This is not a debate. I can prove everything I'm saying with the calculator, so it's not a debate, sir. It's not a, you got to, the reason why you're saying you're coming up with these things is because you're in student loan debt, sir. That's why you keep thinking, it's something else. It's got to be the national debt. How is money created? What? I'm just telling you something, man. See, you come up with, what if we go into hyperinflation, all savings? See what I'm saying? I don't care. I don't care what you guys believe the money does, hyperinflation. You guys know all this stuff. And then when I ask you about your personal finances, you guys know nothing. Why would I listen to anybody that doesn't know about the economy of themselves? I would never take financial advice or anything financially related from a person that doesn't know the economy of themselves. How is money created? I don't know. Let me Google it. How is money created? Oh, the central banks print. Okay, there you go. They said it. They said they make this paper at the central banks in this place. Blah blah blah. Whatever you guys want to know where it comes from. Whatever. This is why SMD will be here forever. The knowledge that I teach will last you till the end of your life. Millions don't know what I teach. Millions can't listen. I have the ability to see negative numbers psychologically. That's something millions of people cannot see. Millions. And to make this statement to you guys, it took me 6 years to realize what it was, the ability to see negative numbers. I just didn't get out of debt and say, hey, I can see negative numbers psychologically. That didn't happen like that. I'm giving you guys the fast forward version. That is the obvious answer, obviously. Not only does it change your financial life, it changes your personal life too. Because if you knew what it took to get out of debt, the sacrifices I had to make to get out of debt, you're not going to date a person who's a debt slave that refuses to accept or do those kind of sacrifices. No, sir. Especially as a man, all that stuff that you're taught in society, to be a player, to be an alpha male, and this and that, all of it. Who's telling you that information? Is it a debt slave telling you that information? You don't listen to that person, because you're listening to a person that doesn't even own themselves. I would never listen. I would never take advice from a person that doesn't own themselves. Why would I listen to you? That doesn't make any sense. I own myself. I did what it took to own myself. I had to sacrifice and pay off every single dime of debt that I borrowed. I had to pay it off. And you think I'm gonna take advice from a person that doesn't even know? I won't date a woman. You get out of debt, you won't date a woman, no matter how she looks. If she has $100,000 in student loan debt and don't have no plans on ever paying it up with a student loan debt, mortgage, credit card, no, that's a waste of time. I wouldn't even chance sex. I might accidentally get her pregnant. I don't want that. Guaranteed, you will be up in court being one of these angry men about child support and how the court's doing you wrong and all this other stuff. Hey, I did all that. Yeah, that was me. Until I realized I put myself there, and I caused myself to be in court. It wasn't due to the woman. Hey, I created a baby. Of course I got to pay. All right, whatever. But if you take a step before that, I put myself there. Me. Had I had this knowledge as a very, very young man, none of that would have happened. None of that would have happened. I would have never seen child support court and lawyers, family court lawyers. That would have never been me. I would have never been in court because I would have never allowed that to happen. Number one. Number two, I would have never impregnated a woman that doesn't own themselves. I don't care how her body is. Hell no, I ain't doing none of that. No. Your whole life changes. What's up, Antoine? Antonio? You think I was that angry dude getting on panels and podcasts about how child support is doing us bad and bloggity blah. She's the woman. She's so evil. But hey, just go look in the mirror. You did it. It could be no her without you. That baby could not exist if it wasn't your part in it. That was my fault. With this knowledge I have today, you think I would have dated a woman? I mean, not saying that those women are bad. I'm just saying because my mindset was the same as their mindset. That's why we had children and we dated and married or whatever, right? Because we had the same mindset. That's why I'm not putting her down because I was there too. But the person I am today, I'll be like, nah. Why not? You don't own yourself. You're deep in debt. Oh, love overrides debt. Love means that, love makes you, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. That's a lie too. Saying like love, people, they do crazy things for love. No, when you get out of debt, love won't even make you do that. I promise you, that'll never happen. Because you will never even let it get to that point to where you would have feelings for a debt slave. Even if you decided as a man to have sex knowingly with a debt slave, you will always use protection. Every single time, guaranteed, you will never forget ever. You will make sure it's clear that no matter how many times we have sex, this is not going any further. You would make that clear. Because you don't want to, this is the wonderful thing about it. You don't have to be a player. You don't have to lie to women. All of that is a lie. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is be true to yourself. So if you get with a woman that's clearly a debt slave, and she clearly don't give a shit about car payments and having student loan debt forever, and you just say, hey, check this out. We can have sex. And I mean this shit. You guys think I'm joking. I mean, we can have sex, but I want you to understand, no matter how many times we have it, this relationship status is not going to change. Of course, they're going to say, yeah, because people just do that because the sex is good. And they're like, I'll change the mind. But each time after sex, you will make sure it's clear. Hey, by the way, this doesn't change anything. She's going to be like, why you keep saying that? Because I want to make sure you know. That's all. Why are you being an asshole and mean? I'm not. I'm just being honest. So when you guys finally break up or, it no longer works, because it won't. As long as she remains a debt slave, it's not going to go any further. So it's going to break up, right? You won't be called as the guy. You won't be called the asshole. You were mean and all this stuff. You can be like, hey, girl, why'd you guys break up? He just said he didn't want a relationship because I had too much debt. And he kept reminding me over. You don't have to be a player. You don't even have to do that. Because you'll be straight up. Say like you own yourself, but you just want to specifically, date debt slaves, right? And because you're a young man, sex, you think it's important. And, you think that, but then you do it. You just be honest with every single woman in your life. That's all you have to, then let them make the decision. Oh, he said he ain't going to really take me serious if I don't get rid of my debt. Well, fuck it. I ain't going to be able to get rid of. Okay, well, then they find somebody else. You say, hey, be happy with them. Hey, we can still be cool. But even with this, and this is another thing, okay, once you own yourself, time is the most valuable thing on earth. and you don't have any stress in your life, right? So when you understand this, if you come across a person that is clearly dating somebody else, you won't date them because you don't want that kind of stress in your life. Because you got to think about this. If somebody's willing to date you while they're dating somebody else, or willing to have sex with you while they're with somebody else, that says something more about them. Why would you wouldn't want to associate yourself with a person like that? You're like, you want to do what? You're with somebody, right? Yeah, but you want to have sex with me? Yeah, no, no. Sorry, I'm not that dude. Because it says you don't want the stress, and you don't want to have you don't even want that type of person in your life. And when you're another thing, when you're a debt slave, when you're say like you're with somebody and they actually fool around on you and have sex with another person, if you could actually remove your feelings out of it for a minute and just observe the obvious, that person did you a favor. Because when you find somebody that you're supposed to be with, they can't share their body. They cannot share their body with another person. You just can't do that. But if they do it, that clearly should tell you that that's not the person for you. That's a clear message, crystal clear. People don't really understand. But once you own yourself, your whole life changes. Everything changes. You don't allow people like that in your life, your whole world changes, because the world is not like that. Excuse me. Shout out to Brother Trust Be Told for the Cash App donation. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Now I got about, let me see how much time I got left. Where are we at here? Oh yeah. All right. I'm gonna have to wrap this up because I have to get off here soon. I didn't realize, you know me, I can go 2-3 hours, but this time I was on a limited basis here. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I will see you tomorrow on Q&A Sundays. And if you guys have your questions ready for tomorrow's show, I'm not sure what time it's going to be, but have your questions ready, because some of you guys email me and want to talk to me on the phone, you know, and I can't do that, right? It has to be a certain way, okay? Enigma says, I guess there's more than financial debt. There's sexual debt. Yeah. But like I said, once you own yourself, your life just changes, especially as a young man. You know, you just don't have to be this player, to have sex with as many women. No, you don't. You don't have to do that. You don't have to be, you never have to be an asshole. You can just be honest. Yeah, I'm telling you, as a man, put it this way, become debt free. Your life changes, right? You will be honest, especially with women, and the majority of women and men, it doesn't matter. The majority of people are in debt. So the majority of people that you're going to date will be in debt. So you will be honest with every woman you meet, right? You won't date like I said earlier, you won't date a woman that's with somebody, sort of just broke out of a relationship. That kind of stuff doesn't happen, because you always can hear a person that just broke up with you're like, oh yeah, you got a lot of healing to do. Sorry. You won't date people, especially people that don't own themselves. You won't do that. Okay. Your whole life will change. You'll always be able to be honest with every woman you date. You'll be like, hey, are you just seeing me? You'll be like, no, I'm not just seeing you. I'm seeing other people too. You know, you'll be crystal clear. So you don't ever have to hide your phone. You don't have to pretend, hey, I got to take this call. You don't never have to do any of that, because you're honest. Number one, just being honest with yourself. That's number one. Okay. Number two, you'll be honest with everybody else outside of yourself. Okay. All right, let me turn this off because I don't want it to go off. Yeah, the Discord server, if you guys haven't joined the Discord server, I don't know if anybody's in here that can post it, but it's in the Discord server link is under almost every video I create. So you guys can find it there. A lot of information and details of every video, probably under this video too. I think I did put it there already. So you guys can do that. Other SMD family members are over there to answer you guys' questions. And sometimes I'll be in there to answer questions too. All right. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Saturday. Later.